I cheated on her, but don't I deserve to be happy?
Cheater? I hardly know her.
Let's start with the backstory. I met my wife in high school. We dated for 3 years, but broke it off in the middle of senior year. We stayed broken up for a little over a year. During that year, I dated a little, spent time with friends, and had a few casual flings. Nothing serious. We got back together, and everything was great. By the way, this comes from Am I a Big Jerk? And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Riley.
And I'm Angie.
And I'm Sophia.
We don't have all the absolute truth or experience here. If you do, please comment below, but we're going to give our best shot at giving you advice. So, Opie says, at 21 years old, we had our first child and got married. My daughter changed my life. I went from a nerdy video game slacker to a highly ambitious IT professional overnight. I found a great job, got promoted quickly, and started to travel for work. At 24, we had our second kid. 4 kids. Our intimacy was great, anywhere from 2 to 5 times a week. But after the second one, it was maybe once every other month, usually less. I met someone that worked at one of those locations I traveled to. Similar situation, young, married, with kids, and lacking intimacy. It started innocent. It always does. But eventually, we decided we loved our spouses, but still needed a physical connection. Rather than risk emotional involvement, we agreed to only meet when I was in town. When I wasn't in town, we'd talk like friends/coworkers and keep things light. This arrangement allowed us to open up to preferences we've never shared with our spouses.
Let's test it with each other before we try things with our spouses. Do that. Trial run.
We continued this for about a year and a half, which ended up being about 6 visits. We both eventually agreed it was time to focus on fixing our marriages. And I did. I completely put all my energy into rekindling the passion into my marriage. It didn't really work, but everything outside the bedroom was perfect. So I decided it was okay with very little intimacy because she's an amazing woman. I didn't want to break up with a great family just because I wasn't getting what I wanted. I also made a vow to stay faithful, which I did.
I don't like this guy.
So they didn't do anything, but they just were like, man, we could do this, we could do that, we could do this. Is that what just happened?
No, they did do things. They met up 6 times.
Well, wait. What was this? I also made a vow to stay faithful, which I did.
I'm thinking
he's literally-
after.
He said he like did the cheating, and then he was like, well, I felt bad about that, so I went back and now I'm gonna recommit to my marriage.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Which I stayed faithful to. It didn't divorce her.
You
I
didn't
think
tell her that you cheated on her.
Yeah, I think he's saying that like once he decided to work on his marriage again and not cheat anymore, then he's decided to stay faithful. Which like up until this point that we're reading this, he has. Still a crazy thing to say.
Yeah. No, because he's already cheated on his girlfriend. Then he was like, well, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to be faithful from now on.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Faithful starting now.
Yeah.
So it's about to get stupid crazy right here.
Let's do it.
And about 2 years ago, my wife found a video on the laptop of me and my former affair partner.
Ooh. Why'd you have that?
That's what I'm saying.
Why'd you keep that? Stupid.
That's what I'm saying.
Why is that there at all?
Why?
This guy's dumb.
I came clean about everything. I bet you did. Admitted it was wrong and vowed to prove I was worth trusting. She had some requirements that I accepted without question. I stopped hanging out with friends, stopped playing any and all video games, no longer chatted online, spent very limited time on the internet, switched jobs, helped out more around the house, and let her have full access to my email. I decided that I would cut out everything that could be a distraction from rebuilding trust. Just 2 years later, and I'm confused. I've been faithful for more than 3 years now and done everything asked of me and more. I've made major changes in my life and who I am to prove that I can be trusted, but it's made very little difference. Still almost no intimacy, and she is very mistrusting. She can have Facebook, but I can't. She can go out with friends occasionally, but I can't. I can play a video game, but only if it has no online/chat component. We did counseling for about 6 months, and the therapist said she saw improvements and that I was making a serious effort to prove my trustworthiness. Wife didn't like sharing details of our life and felt it wasn't helping. Recently, a girl I knew in high school contacted me and made it very clear she'd be interested in a physically only relationship. I told her no, but it made me wonder how much punishment I should endure.
Break up.
Break up!
I don't even
I can't
understand.
go out and have a physical altercation with this woman. How much punishment can I still have? I'm not getting any spicy sleep. This is not fair.
How much of this can I handle?
I can't even play my video games with waifus in it. This punishment is getting unruly. I feel like I've tried as hard as I can, and I want to get better, but I refuse to spend the next 70 years apologizing and walking around with my head down. But I also don't want to be a weekend-only dad. That would destroy me, and I still very much love my wife. I just don't know what to do. We got an update. Sophia, what are you doing?
I'm leaving.
Yep.
I'm breaking up. It's already not healthy. Like, you can't fix this.
Update. After reading all the comments last week, I decided I'm not a prisoner and things had to change. I made plans to go out with friends. I hadn't seen in over a year on a Friday night. On Thursday night, I sat down with my wife, try and reopen communication. I told her that I have needs and wants that aren't being met, and that if we are going to make this work, then some things have to happen. She's my partner, not my warden. She took it pretty well and seemed to understand where I was coming from and recognize the huge amount of work I've put into myself and this relationship. It felt like a fairly major breakthrough. We even discussed picking a new therapist and giving that another try. But there was something nagging at me the whole time. A commenter told me he went through something similar, but eventually discovered his wife was also cheating, which explained why his life was on lockdown. I didn't want to believe it, but I couldn't shake the thought. My wife is reasonable, so why had I been under these restrictions for 2 years? After a couple of days, I gave in, installed a keylogger on the laptop, and I did this Thursday afternoon. Friday comes, and I'm excited to see my buddies. We talked a little before I left. She was apprehensive, but understood this was necessary to rebuild lasting trust in our relationship. And like Reddit suggested, I hardly had anything to drink, answered texts and calls promptly, and got home 20 minutes before I said I would as a show of good faith. My wife was already in bed, but sleepily asked how the night went, and I told her it was great. Saturday morning, we discussed at length. She seemed genuinely happy and understanding, and I was beaming. Not only did I see my friends, but it looked like I was making real progress. While I was on this high, I decided trust is not built with a keylogger.
Oh,
great.
really?
Amazing.
What a great idea.
It was pointless and would only create paranoia. I should also mention that while she has full access to my email, I also have access to hers.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What's gonna happen?
The keylogger was unnecessary. I went to uninstall it. Of course, curiosity got the best of me. I checked the 2.5 days of logs. Nothing unusual. Amazon, Facebook, YouTube, Gmail. Then I saw a Gmail login I didn't recognize. I opened it. No spam, no random junk, just a folder labeled tax information. It was full. Hundreds of emails. None of it tax related.
Oh, I just gotta do my taxes really quick. Oh, taxes.
Wow.
Come on over here.
These emails have a lot of loopholes. Talking about a lot of loopholes in the tax breaks. Man.
Yeah. Oh.
Every single one was to or from Steve.
It's our tax guy, Steve.
I don't know who this Steve is. These messages were inappropriate, full of intimate conversations, things they liked about each other, and notes about every weekend together. I read through about 30 of them before I forced myself to stop. I made a new Gmail account and forwarded all of them there. Then I deleted my tracks, stayed calm. It hurt, but I cheated once, and now I was feeling what she must have felt. As I forwarded the emails, I noticed the dates. This has been going on for years, back to roughly a year before my son was born, before I even cheated.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, that realization hit me like a ton of bricks. What if my son isn't mine? What if my baby girl isn't mine? I completely lost it. I verified my tracks and left the house saying I was going to the gym. Sat in my car 2 hours crying, wondering how to move forward. I got home to find her best friend there. They said they were going to a movie. I nodded. I needed time to think. Later, I checked her secret Gmail. She had emailed Steve 4 hours earlier, saying she'd meet him after the movie. I checked the time. The movie should be ending. I called her phone 10 times. No answer. At 1 a.m., she walked in. She was surprised I was still awake and asked if I was feeling okay. I stood up and asked, "Why didn't you pick up the phone?" She said she was at the movie and couldn't talk. Then forgot to check. I looked at her and asked, "How's Steve doing?"
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Now, I would believe Steve is a tax guy if two things were to happen. Number one, there were no inappropriate texts. Number two, we don't have to pay taxes. If that was the case, I'd be like, all right, cool. How's Steve doing? Accountant. I would believe that.
Like wait, what? Like if you didn't have to pay taxes, then you'd believe that Steve is an actual
Yeah,
accountant?
like Steve and my wife are hanging out, and they're only talking about tax stuff and how to be
Sure, till
tax
1 a.m.
savvy.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we did see the actual messages, so
Yeah.
we know that that's not true.
Okay. And
But
I was hoping for a surprise accountant here.
it's like, no, it's actually I'm the accountant and I'm helping Steve. Whoa.
And her name is actually Stephanie or whatever.
There you go.
She just goes by Steve for fun.
There you go.
Her face went pale. Your Uncle Steve?
You-
Ew! Oh.
Kim Fine says plot twist, the movie was Minecraft. It's like, well, yeah, I mean he went to the Nether, but like but he got out okay.
Oh man.
Went to her nether region.
Uh-oh.
Another. Your Uncle Steve, she asked. No, I said, the Steve you just met after the movie. How's he? She froze. I told her I found the Gmail account. I told her I saw messages, including the one from tonight. With that closure, I had left. I asked, why didn't you come clean when you found out about me? We could have fixed things together. She started crying and ran upstairs. I followed her. She admitted she met Steve years ago at work. I asked why she didn't tell me when I confessed my cheating. She said she was hurt and ashamed. She claimed she ended it, but started again about 8 months later. Talked for hours. I asked if the two youngest kids were mine. She swore they were. She has no proof. I was shattered. I told her I needed space. I won't be her warden. I told her we need separation and therapy if we're ever going to fix this. She didn't like it, but I stood firm. I've been trapped for 2 years. Maybe she loves the idea of us more than me.
Very easy thing to do. Might
Now,
be true.
I don't know what comes next. I love my kids. I still care for her, but I don't know if we can ever trust each other again.
Oh my gosh.
Kimberly Fine said, not a single person in this story has come clean. Agreed.
That's pretty good.
Got an update. 6 months after I found out my wife had been cheating on me, and a lot has changed. After finding out, the first thing I did was get the kids' DNA test. Spent the next 2 weeks sleeping on the couch, having endless conversations with my wife. The more we talked, the more I felt like the world's biggest chump. I had poured my soul into fixing the relationship and was wrecked with guilt while she was out having an affair with some guy named Steve. But I also couldn't see myself just walking away. She'd been in my life since we were 15. We are now 29.
Ooh, that's hard, dude. That's rough. That's rough.
So I agreed to start therapy immediately and see how I felt after talking to someone else. To say the therapist was a bit shocked by our story is a bit of an understatement. This lady was pretty blunt in saying that nearly all of our problems stemmed from my wife's actions and that she needed counseling just for her, in addition to couples sessions. While we were in therapy, I moved out and crashed with my best friend, but demanded the house on the weekend so I could be with the kids. My other conditions were that she cut off all contact with Steve, and that we talk openly about everything, any lies, even the white lies, and I would be done. I wanted full control of the bills and the budget. She complied. I never divulged that it was a keylogger that helped me to find out what was going on. She assumed that she had stayed logged into her secret Gmail account, and I didn't correct her. Low move, but I figured that since I'd been lied to for 3+ years, I had the right to do a bit of spying.
Bro.
But whenever you installed the keylogger, you'd even know what was happening.
Exactly. Bro, you can't pull that. You cannot. You said, okay, yeah, we need to be super honest about all the lies, even the white lies, which
Dude.
means we would have to give all this information that might be important around it. You know, but
This ain't gonna work, man.
But I'm not going to tell you that I installed a keylogger on your computer and then snoop through your emails. That is so insane. That's so insane. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
This puts us at roughly 4 weeks after I found out. And finally, the results from the kids' DNA test came back. Oh, mine.
Oh, okay.
Congrats.
Well, I mean, glad we know. I'm glad we know.
Steve shoots blanks. That was such a relief that I can't even describe. It almost felt like I didn't care what happened with my wife anymore because I knew my kids were mine and I'd always have them. And one thought stuck in my mind the whole time was, I can accept that people make mistakes, but if she loved me, she had the chance to come clean about her mistake when she caught me. Instead, she put me on lockdown for years. Who does that to someone they love? I just couldn't Stop thinking about that. Therapy was going well, but I was becoming jealous and angry. Always upset. I was away from home all week, and then on the weekend, I'd tear apart the laptop trying to find out what she'd been doing in my absence. She was checking her secret email, and Steve was continuing to email her, but she never responded. That was the breaking point. She hadn't shut down the email like I had asked, and while she wasn't responding, she was checking the emails almost like she was keeping her safety net around so she could go back if things didn't work out. Or maybe not. I don't know. But I didn't want to be angry and jealous all the time. I didn't want to be a warden. The next day, I confronted her, told her I couldn't forgive what she had done. I told her I could probably move past the cheating, but the way I was treated was terrible. I explained how I'd pushed friends out of my life and shut myself off from the world to work on us, only to find out I was being kept prisoner so she could keep seeing her affair partner. She broke down crying, saying she'd do anything to salvage the relationship, but it fell on deaf ears. That Monday, I contacted an attorney. Fast forward 4.5 months, I have my own place, divorce is nearly final, and I'm finally starting to feel like me again.
Good.
We are going for 50-50 custody. I've been reconnecting with friends and trying to find new hobbies for when I don't have the kids. I've been on 2 dates because a couple of friends wanted to double date, thinking it would help me. It was nice to meet new women, but I'm just nowhere near ready to trust anyone. And you can trust that we have more stories every day on your favorite podcast platform. Just search up OK Storytime and see for yourself on Apple, iHeartRadio, or Spotify. More stories just like this. We are almost done here. Ladies, anything else you want to add?
No.
I agree with everything that we've been saying.
Yes.
It's just a everybody sucks here kind of situation.
Oh, yeah.
But I am glad that they're at least like, or at least OP is kind of moving forward, it seems. So it's like, yeah, everyone sucks, but like you guys can't just not do anything for the rest of your lives. You got to do something. So I'm glad he's doing this. I'm glad they're getting divorced.
I agree with Lisa Marie. However many years you were married, that's how many months you should stay single to work on yourself after divorce.
That's fair. That's fair.
Part of me thinks I'll just put off dating until the kids are out of high school. The kids are sad that we aren't together, but we keep all of this away from them. No arguing in front of them and no bashing the other when they aren't around. But either way, I think I'm on the road to recovery. And feel free to ask anything because you guys helped more than I could ever say. I say this story's done. This is
Yeah. Glad it's done. Glad you aren't staying in that relationship.
Yep.
I walked in on him cheating. Would you forgive him?
No, I'd walk out.
My boyfriend, who I'll call Kay, and I had been dating for 4 years. After high school, he asked me to move in with him in a different state. I agreed so that we can be together while we attended college. By the way, this comes from Mayano Kiori. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. And I'm Angie.
I'm Sophia.
And I'm Keon.
And we are not experts, people. We are just here to give good advice goofily. We haven't experienced all of these situations. So if you have, let us know what you would do or have done in the comments. And OP says, over the years, we made amazing friends here, and he was just as kind to me as when we first started dating. Cute, awkward text messages, surprise gifts, and flowers at least once every 2 weeks. We had a date night every Thursday after work as well. He also told me he loved me at least once a day. Well, last week, I got out of work early. I was in a good mood because Kay had sent flowers to my workplace and ordered me Chinese for lunch because I had mentioned that I had a taste for it the night before. On my way home from work, I picked up some of his favorite donuts and went home. When I walked in the door, I could immediately hear the sounds.
No.
Gross. I walked to our bedroom to see that our friend Ellie was on top of him.
No.
My heart dropped. They'd known each other for 10 years, but they were never close, or so I thought.
Yeah, they're really close now.
They're
pretty
as close
close.
as you could get.
They're pretty close.
They didn't notice me until I dropped the donuts.
Not the donuts.
The donuts.
Was it like the
Oh,
box fell, or like all the
man.
donuts came out like
One by one. I'm
the
like, just
floor.
like picking up one and dropping it.
Yeah.
like frosting first?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah,
Just chucking at them.
Right. They quickly covered themselves up, and Kay got up to try and explain the situation to me, but I wasn't hearing any of it. I packed a bag and left to my friend's house. I spent a week at my friend's house wondering if I wasn't satisfying him enough and what I did wrong. Both Kay and Ellie bombarded me with messages trying to explain themselves. Kay told me that it just happened. He said that this really was the first time and it wasn't planned at all. That I should know that this isn't the real him.
Of course it is.
What else could
Was it? I don't know. Was it your clone?
We're not in the metaverse right now.
No.
This is you.
This is you.
This is you.
Exactly. He explained that she came over and that one thing just led to another, and it was a mistake that he'd do anything to fix.
That's not how things lead to each other.
Yeah, I feel like you also wouldn't feel this way right after you're finished.
Yeah,
Like
if
if
you were just doing it.
Yeah, like if she didn't walk in at that same point in the day, you would have still
You'd have kept
like,
going.
You wouldn't have felt this way.
No.
So the only reason you're saying this is because she saw you. He sent me pictures of an engagement ring as well. Love bombing. Terrible.
Whoa, that's
Ellie-
insane.
Ellie messaged me as well, saying how she never meant to hurt me and that it wasn't supposed to be this way. I decided to call my friend Ian and explain the situation to him. I asked him if he'd be willing to come with me and help me grab my things while Kay was at work in the morning. I explained the situation to my friends and family, and they all agree that leaving is the best option. I will be taking all of my things and flying back home. My parents have sent me the money for a ticket, and I'll be moving back in with them for the time being. I don't plan on telling Kay anything. He will just come home to a partially empty apartment. And there are some relevant comments, but I want to hear your comments first.
Break up.
Yeah.
Break up.
Yeah.
They have no excuse for doing that. All
No.
of their everything they've said is just so stupid.
Yeah. The excuses don't make sense. I
No.
didn't mean to hurt you, but
Okay.
you did mean to do something that would hurt me. So, like,
Yeah.
what do you mean?
You meant to sleep with him,
Yeah.
and it hurt me. So that's kind of
Right.
where we're at.
And you knew that would happen. Survey says on that
Babe,
one.
it's not what you think. I love you. Here's a ring.
Yeah.
That
That's
was crazy.
That's
Come on.
crazy.
Come on.
There are some comments. Cusco's dance partner says, I've unfortunately been cheated on in a few relationships. It's always an automatic deal breaker. There are no second chances. There is no going back from that. There's no reason they could give that makes it okay. I don't understand why cheaters think an explanation will make it all better. You did absolutely nothing wrong. None of this has anything to do with you and everything to do with your ex and Ellie. I also agree with a few other comments. This is not the first time it's happened.
Agreed.
It's just the
No
first time
way.
he got caught.
No
For
way.
sure.
It's the first time this
Yeah.
has happened.
For sure. Why was she coming over in the first place?
Yeah, why
huh?
was she there?
Why, like, one thing couldn't just lead to another?
It's not how things lead to each other.
It's not how it works, dude. And him sending a photo of an engagement ring was a low blow. If he was truly in love with you and sincerely wanted to marry you and spend the rest of his life with you, he would not have been engaging in the behavior that he was. It's a heart-crushing thing to go through, and I'm so sorry you are having to experience this. The Takashi, okay. I'm a guy, 2 relationships, 3 to 4 years each, 2 end with lots of cheating on me and lying. Then I'd second chance them, and obviously it didn't matter, and the cheating kept going. Like, why don't you leave me first? Especially the second relationship, because we agreed that we would leave each other first before cheating. And she even said, oh, I'll never be that low and disgusting. Not saying this to counter you, but reinforce the no second chances thing. My first relationship didn't try to explain it away. They literally just said, I'm done, but then still slept in the same bed. And then the second pulled a crying move and anger at looking through her phone. So I forgave her, but I knew it was over. But of course, the cheating kept going.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
not worth it. Like, it's so hard to work through that to rebuild trust.
Mm-hmm.
And when, like, he's actively lying about, this being the first time, about why he did it, then you're not going to get anywhere. Because if you don't restart the relationship with just complete honesty, then it's doomed from the start.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do have an update. So thank you everyone for such supportive messages. For anyone who didn't see the update on my page, this is what happened. As planned, my friend Ian and I went back to the apartment in the morning when I knew Kay wouldn't be there to pack my things. We packed my things into our cars, then went to have them shipped back to my parents' house. I got on my phone to look at the security cameras, and Kay was throwing things around and acting like I'd never seen before. He'd always been very level-headed, so that was scary to me. He called me at least 100 times, but I'm not going to answer. I decided to take your advice and block both him and Ellie. I'll be on my flight back to my parents tomorrow morning.
Smart.
Yeah, sorry it took so long for an update. A lot of crazy things happened after I got to my parents. As I was getting settled in, it turns out that a mutual friend of ours told Kay what I was doing, and he thought that it would be a good idea to come to me in person and beg for my forgiveness.
That's actually the worst idea.
100%
Don't
the
talk to
worst
me.
thing to do. Yeah.
Get out. Shoot.
To be honest, I almost had a moment of weakness until it became apparent that he didn't come alone. He brought Ellie with him.
No.
That is crazy.
They're gonna hit worse.
This is
sorry.
premeditated. Oh my goodness.
God. That is so insane.
Wow.
He said that it was because he figured, with her also guaranteeing that it wouldn't happen again, I would believe him and go back to him.
That's
That's
insane.
crazy.
The logic there is not logicking.
Ellie also decided that this was the best time to admit that she was pregnant and that Kay might be the father.
Ah! I'm breaking up. She's already breaking up. I think she
Right.
already broke up
She
with
broke
him.
up and left the state, and they followed her by plane. That is so insane. How dare you? How dare you follow me to my parents' house in another state?
Get out.
Just to tell me that you're pregnant?
That's insane. Why would I care?
Leave. Leave.
It's not my kid.
I'm going to call the police.
Bye-bye. Go
Oh my
take your kid and
gosh.
go.
Oh, Kay said that even if he was the father, he would only be there for the baby. That his heart would only belong to me. Oh
We
my
already
God.
know that it doesn't. And
is
why
so
is Elle
crazy.
telling you that? Or Ellie?
Yeah.
Why is she the one who's like confirming that his heart only belongs to you?
I was furious and my heart was broken all over again. This also made it very apparent that it was indeed not the first time.
Yeah.
Because Kay wouldn't leave. My younger brother, 18 male, also came out and started calling Kay and Ellie all sorts of things, and it led to a physical confrontation. My little brother shoved him, and thankfully, Kay took that as a sign to leave. This is all such a huge mess. I don't want to see Kay or Ellie anymore. I don't want to hear excuses. My heart feels like it's been ripped apart. They can have each other for all I care. And we do have an update. Another update. What?
Oh man, you just need to leave them all behind.
This is so insane.
Leave them all behind.
That is so-
Restraining order.
Oh my God. Yeah, honestly, a restraining order.
Yeah, if he keeps bothering you,
Yeah.
honestly.
But we do have another update. I'm sorry for the late update. Don't be sorry, OP. I've been going through a wave of different emotions. First, I'll address some simple questions I got. I didn't drop out of college. Thankfully, prior to this whole incident, I was already taking online courses. I do plan to move back, but in my own apartment later on. Now, as for what happened next between Kay and I, he came back twice to try and apologize and ask me to reconsider. He reminded me about how I said I have never felt this way for someone before and that ending this would be a mistake. That we could work through these problems if I gave him a chance. I told him that I don't plan on being a step parent to his mistress's kid, so even if I dismissed the cheating, which I made clear that I wouldn't, I'd break up with him because of that. He began crying and saying that he would try to change her mind about the baby if it meant that I would go back with him. Whoa, that's crazy.
About having the baby?
Yeah,
Leave me alone.
that is crazy.
Genuinely, like, leave OP alone.
I hate them both, but to be honest, hearing that made me feel disgusted. I told him that we were done and he needed to leave. The second time, my dad threatened him if he didn't leave the property. From what I hear now, he went back home. And we do have another update.
Oh man,
goodness.
it doesn't stop.
It doesn't
They
stop.
just don't quit.
I
Can't
think-
stop, won't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop.
I'm always saying.
I think we should just rush right into it.
Yeah, run on it.
Yep. Update. Hello, everyone. It's been quite a while, around a year, I think. I had to pull away from everything for my own mental health, especially after I made that careless late night post. But I truly appreciate all the encouraging comments you all left for me on my original posts. I thought I would give an update in case anyone here was wondering about what had happened after the mess. I'll start off by saying no, I never got back with Kay, and I never will. If any of you remember my friend Ian, the one who helped me pack and get out of that situation, well, we started dating about 5 months after that situation and have been together ever since.
Oh, okay.
How wonderful.
How marvelous.
He's helped me every step of the way in moving on from what happened, and I'm so grateful to have him. As for Kay, for the first few months, he was doing everything in his power to attempt to contact me, including showing up outside of my workplace. I went to the police, but they told me that there was nothing they could do since he didn't do anything yet. I then heard that while he was doing all of this, he was dating Ellie, and she didn't know about it. I told her to get her man, sent screenshots, and then blocked her again. By the way, I hope you never block us, because you can listen to full episodes with more stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime.
How does he do it, folks? How does he do it?
How does he do it?
I just can't even believe it.
don't understand.
Don't understand it.
My goodness. There's a little bit more. I hadn't heard from either of them since, but a friend told me that she got pregnant for real this time, and they had gotten married. They got divorced recently because she cheated on him.
Shocking.
Go figure.
Shocking.
And that's the end of that story.
These people suck.
They
OP, I'm glad
suck.
you're rid
the
of
good
them.
old
Yeah.
what goes around comes
Yeah,
around.
glad
you
you're
know?
rid of your
Literally.
terrible friend Ellie and your terrible partner,
Oh my
whatever his
gosh.
name is. I kissed my crush while still dating my boyfriend.
OP, I can't cheat like that.
Around a year ago, I committed to college to run across country and track. I was searching through Instagram for the team and was looking for my teammates that would be joining me in the upcoming year. I found a guy, let's call him Emmett, who did similar events as me. I thought he was cute, and I started to have a crush on him.
Oh.
By the way, this comes from Gail Runner, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Angie.
And I'm Keon.
And we haven't been in all of these situations, so we can only give the best advice we've got. But if you've been in these situations, let us know what you would do. And OP says he went to a high school that I did not have any meetings with. The only meet that I could see him perform at was the state meet. I did not make it to the state meet. He did. A few months from the day I found him on Instagram, I watched him at the state meet. I cheered him on and I Snapchatted. And yeah, he added me on Snapchat. Oh, whoa. You guys are
Uh-oh.
practically married.
Yup.
And asked if we could meet up. He agreed, but we didn't meet up. He was very upset due to his poor performance. The only plus that came from the meet was we started a Snapchat streak. Emmett and I met up in between our orientations. I made a bad impression because I had laryngitis. I sounded like a frog.
I know.
I got butterflies when I was talking to him. That interaction made me very excited for college. For cross country, I had to move a week earlier than everyone else at my college. That week later, all the freshmen, aka me, had to go to a welcoming college and go through some college rules. I checked my phone before they started to talk, and I saw it was Emmett's birthday.
Ooh.
One of the speakers had to pick a group leader. Guess who they picked? Emmett. I was in the section of seating to be in his group. I was so excited to be in his group. I tried to talk to him, but it was very minimal. I said happy birthday to him, and he appreciated it. After we got let out of the meeting, I decided to give him a birthday card and get him cupcakes. I planned to take the stuff to his room. He lived in a different dorm building than me. When I was walking around in my first week at college, before everyone else came, I saw what room he lived in. In the evening, I went to give him the card and cupcakes. Emmett was very surprised by the stuff I gave him. I talked to him a little bit, and I also met his roommates. After we talked for a while, we all went to a little dance that was hosted by the college. At first, Emmett went but lost interest in it. From him not staying, I thought he did not want to be by me. I was sitting in one of my classes waiting for it to start. Then Emmett walks in.
Ooh.
There was an open seat next to me, but he did not sit next to me. After that class, I wanted to talk to the professor. I was waiting in line to talk to the professor, and Emmett came in line too. We talked for a little bit, and I found out that he didn't know that I was in the class. The next time we had that class, he came and sat by me. I had to move on from Emmett. I started to talk to another guy. That guy and I did not last very long. He broke up with his ex because of me at first. Whoa. Heartbreaker, OP. He then ignored me and got back with his ex. Yikes. I then go from random guy to guy. I got lost. During my troubled time of hopping from guy to guy, a big shock came. At dinner one night, a group of freshmen across the country and I were eating. Emmett and his roommates ate at the table with us. As the rest of them got up, Emmett stayed. I found that very weird of him to stay at dinner for that long. After dinner, he Snapchatted with me. He told me that he thought my friend, let's call her Faith, was cute.
No.
No.
Not the friend. Ah.
My heart dropped. Inside, I liked him, but I disregarded my feelings for my friend. They started dating because of my help. They were each other's first kiss. I thought that the relationship was going well. He would come to our cross-country meetings. They would always hang out in Faith's room. They never show affection or like they were dating around campus. It just felt off. Then Faith began to get panic attacks. I found out that they were doing intimate things. From the timing of everything, I knew that the relationship was causing Faith problems. After they dated for 3 months, they got into a horrible fight. I was at the library when their fight happened, and I ran to Faith's room to figure out what happened. In her panic state, I got a general story of what went down. I then went to Emmett's room to hear his side of the story. Emmett and I talked for a long time about his and Faith's relationship. I felt horrible for him. His first relationship wasn't like what he thought it would be. He didn't get to know her very well. They never had a deep conversation. He told her that he loved her, but he didn't know what love was. I felt like we had a deeper conversation than what he and Faith had ever had. I told him to follow his heart. As I was leaving his room, I gave him a hug. My heart stopped when he hugged me. The next day, Emmett broke up with Faith. Towards the end of Emmett and Faith's relationship, I started to talk to a guy. Let's call him Rob. I found Rob on Tinder. I rarely used Tinder. I talked to him for around 2 months. Then we started to date. He has seen me at my worst. I've told him I love him. I'm still with him currently, but I've started to lose feelings for him. One reason why I'm losing feelings for him is the distance. We go to the same college and we hang out most days. However, back in our hometowns, we live 3 hours away. You go to the same college?
Yeah, so that sounds like back then you have a lot of distance, but now you hang out all the time. So what's the issue?
I don't understand that's a kind of a crazy thing to say.
Yeah.
That'd be like, if that were true, no one in college would have relationships.
Yeah, I just don't get that.
That doesn't make sense.
I
There is no distance.
There-
You go to the
yeah.
same college.
Yeah.
Huh?
Like what you're making it up by talking about your distance back home. But what do you mean? That doesn't make any sense.
I hate face-to-face interactions. I do not like texting because it's hard to express myself and give emotion. Video chats get boring after not that long. Another reason why is because he is struggling with my mental health. I was recently diagnosed with anxiety and depression, and I had a past of self-harm. Rob has some mental health issues too. I got medications and I'm still adapting to it. My mental health overall has been improving, but it still needs some work. Rob has recently been putting a negative cloud over me. He would always pick pointless arguments. He would question everything that I did, even with simple things. He would always question if I loved him or not. He would ask me questions when I didn't say anything, when I wanted to just think. He would literally question me if I were to take a deep breath. Before Rob and I started talking, he was very active physically and romantically. I had been intimate before too, but my interest in that area wasn't as strong as his. Personally, I wanted to take a step back from intimacy. I had gone through a very unhealthy and hurtful relationship in high school, and I wanted to distance myself from that side of things. My mental health issues sparked from that relationship. When I started to be with Rob, I told him that I didn't want to be physically intimate. Although he said he understood, I still felt like we were being intimate more often than I was comfortable with. To me, it didn't feel like true affection or connection. Well, he thought it did. Honestly, I would have preferred not to be intimate at all. You might be wondering what my situation is. Well, during our spring break, I got very bored. One day, on a whim, I asked Emmett to hang out as friends. You need to break up with your boyfriend. You don't like your boyfriend. And she said that she's still with him. You literally
Break
don't
up
like
with
your boyfriend.
Yeah, because you're bored.
Because
You
you're
literally
bored. You said
are
it.
bored.
Emmett drove an hour and a half to pick me up. We drove to the big city that I live nearby. We went on a walk and we were talking about a lot of random things. It mainly was making fun of each other. We went back to his car and sat in there and kept talking. We got into a friendly fight. Then we started to wrestle a little. I leaned in towards Emmett and we began to kiss. Fool, you fool. You wrestled a little bit?
You wrestled? What?
We made out for a very long time. He was feeling my chest and my butt.
Ew.
Ew. I had imagined that moment for a year at that point. By the way, I imagine that you guys can listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to this story, but what do you think?
I think you silly goose, Opie.
Silly goose.
You silly goose. I think you should break up with your boyfriend.
Break up with your boyfriend? You just cheated on your boyfriend?
Yeah, you don't like him.
You hate him, actually.
Yeah, you're bored with him, and you think that being closer together is actually too much distance? Like, I feel like
I don't understand
she
anything
said
yet.
she had a distance problem, and it sounds like she's like, the distance problem is that we're too close to each other.
Yeah,
You can't
the
be.
distance problem is that they're still together.
Right. I don't know what to say to you, OP.
Yeah.
I don't.
Break up with your boyfriend.
Yeah.
After we stopped, he had to take me home. The car ride back was very odd because we did not speak that much. As he pulled up to my house, I wanted to give him one last kiss, but he denied. I said okay and left his car. I was in shock afterwards. I kissed Emmett.
No, say it like she was giddy.
I kissed Emmett.
Yeah.
He did not Snapchat me for a few hours, and I knew something was wrong. I texted about what had happened, and we both agreed that it was weird and that we should let that go and retain our friendship. I couldn't let it go. I wanted him, but I don't know how he feels about me.
I think you do, OP.
Dude,
I
he
think
literally made out with you.
We all know how he feels about you. I don't think he's that interested in you. He just made out with you, didn't want to kiss you goodbye,
Yeah.
didn't talk to you in the car, and isn't talking to you on Snapchat. I feel like what's wrong here is the fact that he's not into you. Sorry, girl.
Also, break up with
Uh-oh.
your boyfriend.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, OP, you might be a bad kisser.
Well, if they made out for, well, yeah, no, they. I have a song that reminds me of Emmett. I have been listening to that song since the state meet.
Oh my god.
My God. This girl, she's poor girl.
I can't stop listening to that song. I can't stop thinking about that moment. I can't stop thinking about Emmett. I want to work things out with Rob. However, the vid makes seeing him hard. I don't want to tell Rob that I kissed Emmett. I don't know what to do. What should I do? Break up with your boyfriend.
Yes. Break up with your boyfriend. Maybe like invest in some hobbies. Like
Get some hobbies, girl.
some
Get some
hobbies.
hobbies.
I feel like, I don't know, if you think that something's wrong with like Emmett when he's not talking to you and stuff, I feel like you're too
too in deep.
Yeah,
Too far in.
you're so
Oh,
head over
man.
heels for this boy. You sweet child. You're probably just young and just
Yeah.
all like, ooh,
Literally.
romance, rom-coms, whatever. But I don't think you're in one. I just have a feeling, you kissed him, that's so exciting. I don't think it's going to be everything that you wanted. So don't get too hooked on this guy.
Yeah.
Have some things for yourself just in case.
But not Rob.
Yeah, also,
Let Rob
yeah,
go.
definitely. Rob cannot be your hobby. That's my
No.
one condition.
Robbie.
Oh, you're Robbie?
But that's the end of that story.